It's the final week of the regular season here for Week 18 picks. We're the Eyamie NFL show. But first, let's do Week 17 recap.
Week 17, we had 3 games different. The first was the Jags at Texans. I picked the Jags correctly. Aiden picked the Texans for some strange reason. The second game was the Panthers at the Bucs. I picked the Bucs to win, and they were successful over the Panthers. And the third game was the Packers over the Vikings, which I picked correctly as well. The fourth game we had different was the Bills at Cincinnati, but that game was suspended for obvious reasons and never completed, so we didn't give a loss to that game, even though we had that game different. It will not be finished at any time. That puts Aiden's record at 158-97 for the year, and I'm at 167-88. 9 games ahead of Aiden. Aiden, it was a somewhat scary finish to Week 17. My game ball goes to the athletic training staff of Buffalo specifically. By their quick response, they pretty much saved Hamlin's life. They had started CPR within the first minute of him collapsing, and that's probably what gave him a second chance at life. Hats off to the training staff, both Cincinnati and Buffalo, for their quick response in attending to Hamlin. But back to football, what's your game ball for Week 17?
My game ball goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had an overall good team game, a 31-3 win over the Texans. They stopped a 9-game losing streak against the Texans there. Trevor Lawrence has never beaten the Texans. He did this week. Easy win. It was a team effort. The entire team did something good. Dominant defense, dominant running. Good job, Jags.
I like it. How about your dumpster fire?
There are 2 players in the NFL that nobody likes. Zach Wilson.
Correct.
And Carson Wentz.
True. Very true.
Carson Wentz is in the dumpster fire this week.
Yes.
3 interceptions, gets the Commanders out of the playoffs. He is the man. Are you looking for a choke? Just go to Matt Ryan. But if you're looking for interceptions and turnovers, you can call up Carson Wentz. He will do the job. Carson Wentz is in the dumpster fire for this week. How about your dumpster fire?
My dumpster fire goes to the Chicago Bears offense. They started strong, 2 70-yard drives, and then they only had 90 yards for the rest of the game. Over the next 3 quarters, 90 yards total offense. Fields finished with only 75 yards passing. You're not going to win many games like that. He had more rushing yards than he did passing yards. Again, there's just a one-sided offense. The Bears offense needs to retool, give some more weapons around Fields, but until then, they're one hot mess and they're going in my dumpster fire. This is not even going to be close. The Chiefs are still playing for the number 1 spot. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. The Raiders, with Stidham playing quarterback, are not the same team. They're looking forward to next year and retooling. Chiefs win big.
I think it'll actually be close, but the Chiefs will still win here. I think Stidham did great against the Niners defense last week, and the Chiefs defense is not as good as the Niners. The Raiders defense is going to have to stop Mahomes, and I don't think they'll be able to do that enough. And so the Chiefs will win. The division title on the line, Saturday night under the light, and I think the Jags will win and make their first playoff berth since Blake Bortles was the QB in 2017. I think they'll be able to easily win this game against the Titans. Their QB is a question up in the air, and the Titans will choke just as bad as Matt Ryan.
For this game to have the significance that it does, the Titans have lost 6 games in a row, and the Jags have won 4 games in a row. Obviously, I'm taking the hotter team. They're at home. Like you said, they just got your game ball for last week. They'll continue their good play. Titans, the only positive sign is they have a few people back from injury, including Derrick Henry, but they still have a lot of injuries, including starting quarterback, which is questionable. I'm going with the Jags to win big too and make it into the playoffs. The Bucs are 8-8 and have secured a playoff spot. However, they're playing in Atlanta, who has nothing to play for. This game will come down to the running game. Atlanta is the 3rd best running team in the league, where the Bucs are dead last. And so both defenses are decent against the run. I think Atlanta will have the advantage with their strong running game and edge out the victory from the Bucs.
Are you expecting the Bucs to start most of their players?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, so am I, but I think the Bucs will win this one easily. Brady and Evans were on point last week, and they weren't 2 weeks ago against the Cardinals.
True.
when Brady and Evans are on point, they've won games. And I think they're going to be on point again this week, and I think they're going to be able to win. If the Patriots want to make the playoffs, they need to beat the Buffalo Bills. I don't think they're going to do it. They have sucked lately against the Bills, and the Bills will win, maybe get the number 1 seed if the Raiders beat the Chiefs. I'm picking the Bills.
I think the only question mark in this game, now that Hamlin is out, Micah Hyde is already out, is how will that secondary hold up for Buffalo? Fortunately, the Patriots do not have a great passing offense and can't really take advantage of that like some other teams can. So it's been an emotional week, to say the least, for Buffalo. I think they're going to rally around Hamlin, around making the playoffs, win it with him in mind. I'm taking Buffalo as well. I think they'll be able to edge out the Patriots in a close game. Nathan Peterman is in for the Bears. Who? I have no idea. But Nathan Peterman is in as starting quarterback instead of Justin Fields. Considering Justin Fields was the Bears' entire offense, this does not bode well for the Bears. I'm taking the Vikings to win very easily. Interesting fact, if the Bears lose this, which is a good possibility, and the Texans win, which is another good possibility, the Bears could end up with the number 1 pick in next year's draft.
Wow.
I'm taking Vikings. Easy win for them. Not even close.
See, that's where I think you're wrong. The Vikings, almost all of their wins have been 1-score games.
Not this one.
Even the other one against the Bears.
True. With Fields.
Okay. I'm still picking the Vikings here.
Okay, good.
But I think it's going to be a 1-score game. Maybe 7 or 8 points, but still a 1-score game. And the Vikings will win, make the playoffs. This game might be close, and I'm choosing the Bengals here. They have a much better offense than the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens haven't had any offense pretty much for the past few weeks, and I'm choosing the Bengals to win here and clinch the division.
Yeah, before the Buffalo game on Monday night, Bengals had won 7 in a row. They're a very hot team. The Ravens are not. No offense. Bengals are at home. If the Ravens can't beat the Steelers, I don't think they're going to beat the Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals too. These are two teams that everyone would like to be facing right now, but unfortunately, they're facing each other. Will the Texans play like they did a few weeks ago, or will they play like they did last week, putting up 3 points? I'm going to go with the latter. I think the Colts are going to edge this one out. They'll send Jeff Saturday packing with a victory in his last game as the head coach.
I might be going crazy, but I am choosing the Texans for the 3rd week in a row.
Wow.
That's more wins than they have, unless they win this week. But if you look at it, they've been playing better. In the past 4 games, the Colts have lost by 3 or more scores in 3 out of those 4 games. The only other one, they blew a 33-0 lead. Texans' last 4 games, they came within 1 score of the Chiefs, Titans, and Cowboys. We don't count last week. But I'm choosing the Texans here. I think they've been playing better than the Colts, and I'm going crazy. The Dolphins and the Jets have both lost 5 in a row. Who will end it in Week 18? The Jets. I think they will upset the Dolphins here. Skylar Thompson will make mistakes against a decent Jets defense, and he'll hand the Dolphins their 6th loss and not make the playoffs.
Skylar Thompson versus Joe Flacco. What a great Week 18 matchup. I'm going with the Jets as well. I think quarterback has everything in Eyamie. The Jets still have what I think is the better defense, including the possible defensive rookie of the year in Sauce that can take care of Tyreek Hill or Waddle. Joe Flacco's been there. He's done that. He has looked good at times earlier this season. I'm going with the Jets too. I think they'll right the ship and pull out the victory. Both teams were in the hunt for the division up until last week, but they're now both out. So this game really doesn't mean much. The Saints looked impressive against the Eagles last week. For that reason, I'm going with the Saints. Their defense is finally healthy with Lattimore back. They pretty much have no injuries, and that's why I'm choosing the Saints to win this one.
Yeah, Lattimore did great last week, had a pick 6 against the Eagles. And I think with Lattimore back in this game, I think they're going to do good again. defensively and offensively. I think they're going to beat the Panthers here, and they'll finish off the season with 2 wins in a row. The Steelers still have a shot at playoffs here. It's crazy to think about it, but every year they're always in. And I think they're going to win this game, and to make the playoffs, they'll need a little help. The Browns, they aren't very good. They looked good last week, but they were playing Carson Wentz. So that doesn't really mean anything. Steelers will win here, perhaps make the playoffs.
Steelers have won 5 of their last 6 games. They're starting to play like everybody thought they should at the beginning of the year. Browns are not. Even with Watson back, they have not looked good. They have big troubles in the locker room. Clowney's not playing this week. They're looking forward to next year already. So I'm taking the Steelers to win here. And if the Dolphins and Patriots lose and the Steelers win, they will make the playoffs again. The Eagles still need to win this game to take the number 1 seed in the NFC. We think Hurts is back. They're not going to lose 3 games in a row. The Giants will probably be sitting their starters, maybe halfway through the game, maybe earlier. They've already made the playoffs. The Giants aren't playing for anything significant, so I'm going to take the Eagles. They'll beat the Giants fairly easily.
Yeah, the Eagles haven't even clinched their division yet with the Cowboys there, but they'll clinch the division and the number 1 seed this week after a pretty good win against the Giants. They easily beat them week 13 against the Giants, and the Giants were at home last time. The Eagles are at home this week. I think the Eagles are going to do even better as long as Hurts plays. The Cowboys will easily win this one, even though Carson Wentz isn't playing. Sam Howell might be the future here for the Commanders, but won't start out as a good career with a loss to the Cowboys week 18. Cowboys will win.
Blowout alert. This is going to be a blowout. Cowboys defense is going to have interceptions. They're going to have sacks. It doesn't matter if it's Wentz or Sam Howell starting. This is going to be all about the Cowboys defense dominating the Commanders and blowing them out. Where was this Broncos team all year? Last week they played great. Wilson actually played football. Is it because Hackett's gone now that the Broncos have decided to play? There is a small chance that they upset the Chargers here, but I'm going to go with the Chargers. Bosa's back. Chargers are healthy with the exception of J.C. Jackson. That defense looks really good. I'm going to take the Chargers to win a close one. No upset. Chargers win.
The Chargers will easily win this game. The Broncos still are the Broncos, and they're just looking forward to the season being over. They just got to play 3.5 more hours of football. You got this, Broncos. Almost through. The Seahawks still have a chance at playoffs, and I think they're going to win here and maybe make the playoffs. The Rams were the last year's Super Bowl champs, but this year they are not as good. They are horrible with so many injuries on offense and defense, and Ramsey's getting burned left and right. The Seahawks will easily win this one. How about you?
Yep, Seahawks win easily. Mayfield threw for 132 yards last week. That's not good. The Rams still have too many injuries across the board, including that offensive line. Seattle's going to take advantage. Seattle wins easily. The 49ers still could get the number 1 seed in the NFC with a win and an Eagles loss. So they're playing for something. The Cardinals are not. The only thing they're playing for is J.J. Watt's last game in the NFL. That's it. We don't know who's starting at quarterback for Arizona. 49ers win big. Big blowout.
49ers defense is way too good for the dead Cardinals offense here. Hopkins is not being targeted enough. He lost me my fantasy game 2 weeks ago. The Niners will win here and start their run in the playoffs. A close Sunday night game here, and I think the Packers are going to win this. They are at home, and they just have momentum. They've won 5 in a row, and the Lions have only won 1 in a row. I'm choosing the Packers here, and they'll make the playoffs.
Detroit has the 3rd highest scoring offense in the league this year. However, they have the worst defense in the league for giving up points. Packers will be able to take advantage. Aaron Rodgers in January. If the Packers win, they're in the playoffs. If the Lions win, they need Seattle to have lost earlier. I don't think that's going to happen, so the Lions might not even be playing it for anything by the time this game starts. I'm taking the Packers they'll win in Lambeau.
It's time for bold predictions. The final week of the regular season bold predictions this week. What is your bold prediction?
Mine is that the San Francisco 49ers will hold the Arizona Cardinals to a single field goal all game. Even with bad field position, the Cardinals will only score a field goal, nothing more. How about your bold prediction?
I'm going to the Saints-Panthers game where it doesn't really matter. If Marshawn Lattimore plays like he did last week, and if he plays, literally, I think he will have one more interception, just like last week. Maybe a pick six, maybe not, but Lattimore will have a interception this week. It's time for the last question. It's my turn here for the final week. What game would you have liked to see as the Sunday night game, if not Packers-Lions?
Well, for me personally, the Browns-Steelers, but probably most people would not want to see that. It may still have some playoff implications at that time.
That'd be the third Sunday night game in a row for the Steelers.
Nice. But I think the Ravens-Bengals, I think it'll be to determine who wins the AFC North, and there could be some playoff implications.
Okay, that's it for our regular season year one picks. We hope you guys stuck with us the entire season. And tune in next week for Wildcard Weekend. We will still be doing playoffs, maybe with a few guests. We'll see you next week. Adios.
See ya.